Shane Beamer's been there, right? He's taken his lumps. They've had some losing seasons. You were able to build off that, overperform expectations last year at 9-4, almost getting to the college football playoff, fall just short. What will 2025 look like? If no one will object, I will take the South Carolina Gamecocks as my dark horse to make the college football playoff. Now, perhaps Shane Beamer has got South Carolina in a position where they are no longer a dark horse, and people will scoff when they hear this and say, no, this is the year with a returning quarterback, they're supposed to make the college football playoff. I've never seen South Carolina make a college football playoff, so in my opinion, they are still a dark horse, and I'm going to take them. Let's just talk about a few things here. Recapping 2024, 9-4, had some huge wins, right? Had some tough losses, losing to LSU the way they did, losing to Alabama. They come back on the road in Tuscaloosa. They lose that game, but then they finish the year by beating Clemson. Lenora Sellers really showed the star power, the star potential, but had some key injuries, which you're going to have when you have a quarterback who takes this many risks in the run game. To address not making the college football playoff, I know South Carolina fans thought they had moved in a position where, hey, we're playing the hottest football right now at the end of the year, but you lost to two other teams who also got left out, and that was Alabama and that was Ole Miss.
Well, if you're trying to be the good-looking dark horse this year during beach season, you need our friends over at Fitbod, because we've all been there, endlessly scrolling through fitness influencers selling complicated routines that promise the world but deliver very little. Because the truth is, most of these tips and tricks, they just overcomplicate what should be simple. And that's where Fitbod comes in, combining the workout planning and tracking you actually need to stay consistent and make real progress. That's what makes Fitbod special. And it also builds workouts around your specific situation. It's customized. The app crafts routines based on your unique fitness journey, your available equipment, and even factors in your recovery time between sessions. Also, their smart technology ensures each workout hits the sweet spot, which is challenging enough to drive great results without pushing you to burn out. Plus, with over 1,000 demonstration videos, you'll never wonder if you're doing an exercise correctly. It's like having a trainer who really knows you, pushing you enough to make progress without burning out. We know this personally, it's a fantastic product, and you need to level up your workout by joining Fitbod today to get your personalized workout plan, get 25% off your subscription, or try the app free for 7 days at fitbod.me/booster. That's fitbod.me/booster.
I want to talk about Lenora Sellers. I have a couple clips here. I think if he meets people's expectations, not just with the way he was playing last year, but takes that jump, which you would assume for a guy who's 6'5", 240, is going to be a sophomore now, and is going to be playing under Mike Shula now as the offensive coordinator, but who was on staff last year. If you're going to have a new OC, you want him to have been on staff last year. Then I think that the ceiling and the floor for the South Carolina program is going to be predicated on just how much Lenora Sellers can take that next step and really be a superstar. Can we start with the play against LSU, please? This is obviously what he can do in the run game. We saw him do this at multiple points last year. Power read up the middle, and he's gone, and then no one's going to catch him.
Lenora Sellers huge. He's basically Reptar.
6'5", 240, unless he's put on weight. I don't know.
Who knows?
And if he's dropped any weight, then he's only gotten faster. You know, so we'll see all of that after spring practice and moving into fall camp. But it's not just in the ground game. I want you guys to watch this throw right here. Please play this. This is against Texas A&M, and this is when Texas A&M is a top 10 team. Look at this this little tight end delay coming from the field, someone right in his face. Just a beautiful ball. So that's what Lenora Sellers is able to provide on at the quarterback position.
Are you worried at all from a defensive standpoint?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to get into the whole interior and all that. But is there anything you want to say about Lenora Sellers first?
You know, David, it's funny. Like I talk about John Mateer. I know how good John Mateer is. Johnny Mateer is a really good player. I don't know how elite Lenora Sellers can be is because his ceiling is so high.
Yeah.
And that's not a, well, I don't know if Lenora Sellers is going to be elite. Lenora Sellers checks every single box for me. Don't forget how young this guy is, too. But from a physical standpoint, you know, it's funny. We look at guys like Joe Milton, and we're like, he's huge, he's physically talented, not a great runner, right? Not that he couldn't run, but not a great runner. Lenora Sellers is a great runner. Mm-hmm. Didn't have a lot of touch and a nuance as a passer. He can throw the 100-mile-per-hour fastball and also throw the 12-6 curve at quarterback. And I know that's a baseball reference. I think he can make every throw. David, I feel like he is so good. We always talk about, well, you know, football is the ultimate team sport, and it is. But sometimes there are guys that can go out there and they're so physically talented, they can make up for a lot of deficiencies that you have as a team. I'm not saying Lenora Sellers is Cam Newton, Okay, I'm not going to go that far.
But he has a lot of similarities.
But when I look at the physical makeup and ability as a thrower of this guy, he could be one of the best that we've seen do it in a long, long time. And I know you're going to talk about the guys on the periphery, but he's not the only physical freak that South Carolina's got running around.
And Shane does a great job of doing what they need to do with the Norris Sellers.
And again, talking about program stability, Shane Beamer's been there, right? He's taken his lumps. They've had some losing seasons. You were able to build off that, overperform expectations last year at 9-4, almost getting to the college football playoff, fall just short. What will 2025 look like?
Well, if you're trying to be the good-looking dark horse this year during beach season, you need our friends over at Fitbod, because we've all been there, endlessly scrolling through fitness influencers, selling complicated routines that promise the world but deliver very little. Because the truth is, most of these tips and tricks, they just overcomplicate what should be simple. And that's where Fitbod comes in, combining the workout planning and tracking you actually need to stay consistent and make real progress. That's what makes Fitbod special. And it also builds workouts around your specific situation. It's customized. The app crafts routines based on your unique fitness journey, your available equipment, and even factors in your recovery time between sessions. Also, their smart technology ensures each workout hits the sweet spot, which is challenging enough to drive great results without pushing you to burn out. Plus, with over 1,000 demonstration videos, you'll never wonder if you're doing an exercise correctly. It's like having a trainer who really knows you, pushing you enough to make progress without burning out. We know this personally, it's a fantastic product, and you need to level up your workout by joining Fitbod today to get your personalized workout plan. Get 25% off your subscription or try the app free for 7 days at fitbod.me/booster. That's fitbod.me/booster.
You're talking about freak shows. Let's go ahead and talk about Dylan Stewart at defensive end. The number 2 returning player in college football behind wide receiver Jeremiah Smith. Let's just show 1 sack, and this is against the team you were talking about, Jake, in Oklahoma.
I mean, this dude is a freak show, dude.
I mean, he's as good as it gets. He could play in the NFL this next season, to be honest.
To me, he's the Norris Sellers of defense.
True, and they got both of them.
Yeah, and they got Nicholas Harbor, too, who's could go run track for the United States Olympic team
Bolt.
as a huge guy. South Carolina stays with one on the edge, though.
Absolutely. Well, you got to think about it. The only thing I'm worried about is, like, last year as a unit, South Carolina's defense was a lot better.
Kennard was a beast.
Yeah, Kennard. You had 2 linebackers who were absolute dogs, seniors. A safety who's an absolute dog, senior. And now that's gone. Dylan's an absolute savage. We know that. As long as he keeps the gun away after he makes a sack, it's going to be fine. But they lost a lot on that defense.
Yeah, and that sort of gets me into the negative. And it's not just that side of the ball. South Carolina is losing a lot in the interior on both sides of the line of scrimmage. Center and both guards on offense. And then, like you were talking about, defensive tackle, 2 linebackers. You lose almost from every single depth on defense. Now, they have addressed that in the transfer portal. They've gone to the transfer portal for the offensive line, like we talked about. Shane Beamer's on record as saying we want to open up competition with that unit. And then specifically on defense, 3 additions right here. Defensive tackle Gabriel Brownlow-Dindy from Texas A&M. Linebacker Sean Murphy comes in from Florida State. And then defensive end Jalen Brown coming in from Missouri. Also, on the offensive side, they lose Rocket Sanders at running back, but they brought in the Faison kid who rushed for 1,100 yards at Utah State. So they're going to have several backs who I think can help fill that role.
And you got to remember, Rocket Sanders had 13 more carries than Lenore Sellers last year.
Yeah. Well, see,
which is insane.
But you bring up a good point. What was the one knock on Lenoris last year? He was getting beat up. Like, he was getting hurt. I mean, go back to the LSU game. And I'm not saying he's soft or anything, but how much, if you're Shane Beamer, do you look at that and say, man, if we're going to do what we're capable of doing or what we want to do at the highest level, how much do you run Lenoris Sellers? We talked about this last year with Nico at Tennessee. Like, are you just saving him to run against the best teams that you play? I
don't think you can do it. I just don't think South Carolina is going to be good enough at every single position to operate like that, which that brings me to the Cam Newton discussion. When I watched Cam Newton play in 2010 for Auburn, there was never a thought about him doing anything but dominating that play. There was never a thought about, oh, should we take him out in the 4th quarter? Should we not run him here? It was like every single time he touched the football, he is about to dominate the defense in front of him. And he could have gotten injured, sure, but he stayed healthy that entire year. He wins the Heisman Trophy. Auburn wins the national championship. That's the kind of stuff you need if South Carolina is going to overperform expectations.
It's like with Cam, there was never that build-up year, right? There wasn't that year like the North has. He'd come in, you see how high the ceiling could be. But
well, at JUCO, if you watch him in JUCO,
for sure,
yeah. But I see what you're saying.
Yeah, right. There wasn't that year. It's like, God, this guy's going to be absolutely unbelievable. And you walk in the next year, it's like, hey, we know how good and talented
he would just sort of
but
drop.
Should we protect him?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, he just landed on Earth. He just landed in Auburn, got a football in his hands, and went off.
It's funny you say that because he played against Statesboro in high school the year after I had graduated.
Lucky.
So my brother called me. I was already at Michigan. My brother called me and said, yeah, we got put out in the playoffs. They had this quarterback who's going to Florida, Cam Newton. He's really good.
Yeah.
So
And
we
your
had
brother was not
we already knew what was up. But
No, how does their schedule look?
yeah, that's what I want to get to. So here's the schedule. Aflac kickoff game to open the year against Virginia Tech in Atlanta.
Winnable. Very
All right?
winnable.
South Carolina State, Vanderbilt at home, at Missouri, Kentucky at home. Again, we have to operate under the assumption that 10-2 is what's got to get you in the college football playoff. To me, you got to win all those.
I
all right?
agree.
Here's where we start. At LSU, Oklahoma at home, Alabama at home, on the road at Ole Miss, on the road at Texas A&M. There is a bye week between those two games, though. Coastal Carolina and Clemson back-to-back at home, and that's a Clemson team that's going to return Cade Klubnik, who's pretty much top 5 in Heisman Trophy odds right this second.
Man, I will say, as tough as that game will be with Clemson, you do get it at home, that's big. I feel like that's a pretty favorable SEC schedule if there really is one out there. Not that anyone is going to be super easy, but remember last year when we were looking at like Ole Miss's schedule, and we were like, man, we're not saying it's easy, but if we're going to go light and heavy on SEC schedules, I mean, you read the first 3 or 4 games. There's no reason you shouldn't win all those games starting out with what Missouri lost and obviously what we think Kentucky's, going to be.
It's just weird to see South Carolina with no Georgia, no Florida, and no Tennessee on the schedule.
And you get Bama at home.
Yes.
God, dude, I feel like that's a good.
No Texas on here either.
That Oklahoma-South Carolina game, something's got to give.
Something's got to give. But again, just from the South Carolina perspective, I don't know. If you're a South Carolina fan, I don't know how you could be upset with that schedule. Like the way that it's going to play out. I just wonder, I really wonder, Cone and Blaine, like with what happened last year with Bama not getting in and SMU getting in, and Penn State doing to SMU what they did. I wonder if South Carolina is sitting there at 8-3 and Clemson is going to win the ACC, Clemson is a top 5 team in the country, and South Carolina beats them at home to go 9-3 with that schedule. Let's say you lose. What did you say the road games were? You said
all the road games?
Yeah, just the toughest ones.
Missouri, LSU, Ole Miss, Texas A&M.
So let's say you lose LSU, A&M, and Ole Miss. I'm not saying they will, but let's say you lose those 3 and you beat Clemson and you beat Bama at home. I wonder if South Carolina gets in, but you don't want to be in that position.
It'll be circumstantial. Depending
it
on
will
what
be.
happens.
You want to sit here and guess what you think their win total is?
I'm going to say 8.
8.5.
7.5.
God, I like the over on that one.
Over.
I like the over in that one. But I would pencil them at Cone. I agree with you. I think South Carolina, a lot of people are going to be picking them to be good this year, but I don't know if they're going to have them making the college football playoff, as like a certainty. But looking at that schedule, man, whew. And by the way, LSU could screw a lot of teams over, at least so far. Like LSU could break a lot of hearts.
It's amazing we're not even talking about LSU. Kind of go.
Oh, we will be. But I don't consider LSU as a dark. They got to win the damn opening game. And guess who they got this year? Clemson. So good luck. Yeah, good luck.
Where is that one?
That one's it's got to be some neutral site, right?
I'll look it up right here.
They may be
because they've been playing it. This one says at Clemson.
It's at Clemson?
Well, hold on. No. Yeah. Well, it doesn't have an asterisk, so.
Like in Clemson,
Hold on,
South
I have
Carolina?
to beat David to find this.
Like that's a big deal. If that's a true road game. So if that is a true road game, then it's got to be a home and home.
It's in Clemson.
Oh, wow.
Which I have respect for. I respect LSU for that.
Put some respect on his name.
I know they keep getting mad that they keep losing these opening games. I love it.
The regular season.
Huh?
I hate them. With the exception, the Red River rivalry, we can, because the fair.
I just mean opening up with great games.
Yeah.
LSU stays opening up with a great game.
They do. Hey, YouTube, appreciate you guys hopping on. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn that notification bell on so you know when Crain and Company goes to college or Locker Room Talk is dropping.